So besides this, up until maybe recently, before we entered into the 5D, or this new earth that we're in right now, we're entering Christ consciousness. Okay, we're basically in the last days, in Revelations, this period of time. You see that up until maybe now, the function of a lot of these NPCs have been to feed off of our energy, right? A lot of people will tell you this is like a prison planet. Our souls are just in loops, just returning over and over and being used, okay, for energy by these kind of parasitic astral entities that exist in this plane of existence, okay? These demons, basically. And a lot of these NPCs, not all of them, but there are a lot of demonic agents, obviously, because if the Matrix has been hijacked by the enemy, then those who try, or those whom are participating in doing evil, or all of this targeting and wicked things to the people of God, are obviously demonic agents in that sense, right? I'm just specifying because I know that there are people who are not Christian, but I'm telling you that I really feel that there is a balance between Christianity and also looking at certain things from an energetic perspective, okay? So these demonic agents feed off of our fears, our lower vibrations, okay? They keep us in distraction, or they have kept us in distraction so that we couldn't rise and overthrow whatever is going on up until now, where there's no choice because the frequency of the earth is rising, okay? And it's something that is cyclical, and I think that there's not much that the enemy can do. He's defeated, okay? And all of the people who are here on this plane of existence still are connected to God. We are connected to his source, or his let's say essence, and therefore we have dominion and authority, okay? Whereas all of these NPCs, whatever these I don't know, sometimes I call them creatures, they have no authority and dominion. That's why they have to work through manipulation. That's why they have to work through fear. They have to lower your vibration so that they can maintain illusions and function, okay? Once the illusion has been ruptured, and once people are awakening and regaining back your power, they're done for, okay? So this is why you notice when there's certain energetic or astrological events happening, that's when we usually, of course, have wars, or we have a lot of distractions pop up, a lot of, planes falling from skies, things like this. Anything to draw the attention, to create anger, to create any kind of just negative energy, okay? Because they are trying desperately to hang on to whatever little bit of power that they have right now, which is minute, okay? So this is why anybody who's awakening will notice, if you try to look for other people like yourselves who are chosen or who are also awakening, you'll find that most of the time, and I know this from sometimes, just being in certain groups and podcasts, or listening in on some lives on TikToks, the people that are the most like you, that are, I don't know, as awake as you, tend to never be in your direct vicinity. They are basically just kind of spread out. The Matrix spreads them out. so that they're not too many in one area, okay? And this is very strategic. This is strategic to maintain the balance of energy and trying to maintain the control, okay, of the narrative. So it is very hard a lot of times because a lot of people who are awakening feel alone and they don't have anyone whom they can confide in sometimes, because even if you have a good friend that they're not as NPC, but sometimes they might not know anything that you're talking about. So you really don't waste your time going into details too much because they're not going to understand you. And then you have a lot of people that are experiencing things and maybe they're working, again, in jobs where they feel they have to still maintain a certain image, so they're too fearful to break the mold or do what they want to do or speak out on certain things because they feel like, you know, it's going to tarnish their image or reputation, or it's going to be an issue for their job or their livelihood, right? I mean, one thing I can tell you is, as far as distribution of chosen people, I really feel that I arrived in Europe when I was 23, and I had a real strong pull to come to the Mediterranean area. And I can say, despite all of the targeting, all of the things that have happened to me, even though it hasn't been easy, if I had stayed in New York, which the system, through different NPCs, tried to pull me back to New York through my daughter's father, you know, after I was here, trying to make me go back. And, you know, the system has tried to lure me back to New York, where I think that there would have been no way, I don't know, but I personally feel there would have been no way that I would have awakened the way I've awakened here in the Mediterranean, because when you are in certain environments, there's so many distractions, so many loops that keep you in fear, that keep you in just basically survival mode. You don't have time to be like reflecting and deep thinking, and that's kind of what they want, right? That's the whole purpose of sometimes, you know, obviously keeping people in these 9-to-5 jobs and busy and, you know, just barely making it. Okay, you're not there thinking about meditating and reflections. So I'm thankful to some degree that even when I was lured back to the States, because there was a point where I went back for 2 years, I came back. And I really just felt that I just didn't belong in New York anymore, and I grew up there my whole life, and I just felt like when I went back, I didn't fit in. I didn't feel that alignment. I had outgrown it. So, again, ley lines are very important energetically for chosen people, especially, and for everyone, to know where you function best, where maybe awakening might be the easiest for you, okay? That's why you see a lot of people nowadays, I think, because of the changes and the upgrading of the vibrations on this earth. A lot of people that I've known have left New York. They go to other states and they feel like 100 times better. It matters, okay? For things like that, it matters. So right now I'm in the Mediterranean. As I said, I moved. Now I'm in France. Still have a lot of quirky things happening, which I can also go into in other videos. But for the most part, I still feel like I wouldn't trade it to go back to the States at all. And I feel like here's where, at least spiritually, I can develop the best, which is why I guess the system on this side of the world is fighting me back.